The motherfuckers on the other side
Yeah.
are going to be, but even though he got it done, he didn't get it done on day one. The fuck are you talking about? You keep taking everything this dude says literally. What you should do is take what he says seriously. Get the fuck out of here. The one who's desperate to get attention is you. You're an old ass motherfucker that nobody gives a shit about. You're trying to say we're stupid and he failed us and we were gullible. And we're over here like, wow, shit's happening already. The LGBTQ people are like scared. There should be no fear. And if you're fearful, you're just buying in to liberal bullshit to divide you from everyone else. Maybe he's had a great career, but that career should have been over about 10 years ago. Go the fuck home. I'm saying both sides. This should not be a thing. This book was not in the top 100. And now it's the number one selling book. And he didn't even tell people to really read it or anything. He got caught reading it. And I know some people don't get it. They don't get social media, and how important social media has been and is to building brands now. Here's my thing about TikTok and the Chinese government getting information on us. Just stop it. You're lying to me. I don't believe you. Don't tell me it's a security risk. They thought this was going to be a way to attack China, and this is not what we wanted the attack to China to be. It doesn't end well unless it ends. Can't just report the fucking obvious.
I don't care what a critic got to say, I got them picking up the pieces. That mean you really playing with your life, I'm about to come and
just a motherfucking jump. Just go. Let's fucking go. This is the Outlaw Apostle Podcast. I'm your host, Troy Neff. I'm the fucking guy, and the other fucking guy all set up and ready to go early in the morning as we're doing this time.
Very early in the morning, yeah.
Chase,
for me.
And very sorry to hear about your family losing the family dog.
I appreciate that, man.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Never fun to. It doesn't matter how pets, how old the dog is. It doesn't matter. You know, it just doesn't matter. It's very, very hard.
I do appreciate that. Thank you.
Yeah.
And I appreciate you being able to
be flexible.
Like flexible,
yeah,
yeah,
dude.
man.
Yeah. No, I only pretend I'm an asshole.
It's actually very true. Troy's like one of the nicest people I actually know. He might come off a little intense sometimes, but he's actually a really good person.
Man. Like, why? That's just. I've been that way all my life, man. I've heard about different things, and what should we? Maybe I should temper it back a little bit. It's just not me, man.
Yeah, no. I mean,
it's
that, and that's like one thing that a lot of people that I grew up with didn't really understand, because I can be very intense, like you as well. But it comes from like a good place in my heart. It's not necessarily like, oh, I'm trying to be a fucking asshole. It's just I grew up with a lot of Mexicans that yell a lot, and it's not intentional, but we all scream at each other just because that's how we naturally talk. Yeah. We have a very intense kind of like voice, so I understand where you come from, but yeah.
Yeah, for you it was in your genes.
Yes.
And for me, I got that part from my environment, being around y'all.
Exactly. Oh, yeah. It's pretty easy stuff to pick up when you're hanging around us.
Yeah, especially in my youth, man. Most of the dumb shit I did. I
had some company of the.
I had some company.
Friends.
Yes, I did. And so a few different things that we want to hit on that are really, really super important. It's kind of interesting. We're still a handful of days away from Trump's inauguration.
Very close, man.
I made my predictions before about the inauguration.
Uh-huh.
And after Trump was elected, that I expected there to be some kind of protest or something.
Yes.
And we got a spattering of protests, but nothing like what I expected.
Okay.
And I said, well, it could still happen. And it could happen around Washington, D.C. or other places. And it, you know, and I'm just looking at and considering the things that are being said on X, the X platform,
Okay.
Twitter. Because these people are out of their motherfucking minds. I mean, the things like things that didn't work in the first election didn't really work in the second or third, and especially the third now that Trump was reelected, and telling us about Trump. Just the repeated stuff, like it could be him as a businessman, you know. He must suck as a businessman because of the bankruptcies. I don't know. I think it shows quite a bit to have taken a good amount of money.
Yeah.
You know, whatever he was able to start with or whatever benefit. And he had the benefit of a great education, you know, that his family was able to provide. But he also put in the work and made something of it. And not everybody does.
Yeah.
At least not to the level that he did. And then to build a little empire, successful real estate empire, and to do it in, you know, a city that is just unforgiving. New York is an unforgiving city.
Oh yeah.
And then he did something that probably the thing that wasn't so smart is he made some personal guarantees.
Gotcha. Is that what got him into trouble?
Yeah, because then, you know, he was on the hook for what the business did.
Yeah.
Versus the business just fails and that's
And then
just
it
a
just
loss
fails.
on its own,
Yeah.
and they can't come after your personal stuff. They could come after his personal stuff, and he negotiated in many of those cases things that were financed with bonds that paid a high interest.
Okay.
You know, because maybe it was a higher risk venture, and as an investor, you want a better return. And then it doesn't happen, and then the question becomes, do you want any return at all? Or what do you want to do? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So and then engineered a comeback that also included one of the top 3 or 4, easily, I would say, that whether you like him or not, people in the industry would even acknowledge that his reality show was, and some people just think that's what he did. Like, no,
I'll tell
it's
you
not.
what, when I was younger, yeah, I mean, he was on TV. Like
Mhm.
that was pretty much like all I really knew him from. Like he was
Yeah.
just another person on TV.
Yeah. And he, you know, one of the 3 or 4 most successful reality shows of all time, and it still had some legs to it. And it really only ended because of him leaving and running for president. And running for president isn't something that he needed to do for him to,
Like prove a point.
no, for him to enrich himself.
Gotcha.
Because we hear this all the time. You know, Trump's just for the billionaires. He's just for the rich. And well, why does it seem that that blue collar, middle class people, us uneducated ones without degrees,
Yeah.
why is it that, you know, that group of people, a very large percentage of that group of people, feel like he understands them? Because he just does.
Yeah.
I mean, he's like a blue collar billionaire, and he's very, very good at identifying problems and talking about them in a way that we all talk about them. Not in this fancy, haughty way and using words that we don't use. I mean, I don't think a regular person regardless of political affiliation, has ever said things like, if I talked about a Democrat I didn't like,
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure I never said they were a threat to democracy. That just
Like taking it to
doesn't
the extreme.
resonate.
Yeah.
What does resonate is, and they can laugh about it all they want. Okay, what does resonate apparently is eggs.
My mom was actually talking about that yesterday over dinner.
See what I mean? That's what regular Americans
Yeah.
identify with.
Yeah. Like in the everyday kind of like
Well,
things.
let me give you another example too. That because you're in banking,
Yeah.
okay, and Chase is like every other dumbass financial institution, that they have a part of the institution that does wealth management,
Yes.
correct?
The JP Morgan side, yes.
Yes. And they call it wealth management.
Mhm.
Has your father ever used the word wealth when referring to his own money, his retirement, or any investments ever? Have you ever heard him use that word?
No. I no.
I mean, he may say, I need some help with an IRA. I may need some help with the 401k. Maybe I need to talk to somebody. But your dad is never going to say, I think I should talk to a wealth
management.
advisor.
Yeah, no.
It's not
He's
going to happen,
not one
dude.
of those guys, no.
Most people aren't.
Yeah.
We don't call our money wealth. And when I was in the financial business, I didn't either. Advanced Retirement Solutions. That was the name of my company. Totally descriptive, what I did, what my main focus was on. Yeah. So the words you use,
Play a big
it
like,
matters.
Part. No,
It
100%
matters.
does.
And they think Trump lies all the time when the rest of us kind of feel like it's some things he will stretch. Okay. And here's the thing. This is so stupid. Let's use the current situation that's going on with Israel and Hamas,
Okay.
potential ceasefire,
Yeah.
and then also the Ukraine-Russia war.
Okay.
And Trump said he was going to end it on day one. Here's the thing. It's probably not going to end on January 20th.
Yeah.
When he's inaugurated.
I mean, but honestly, it might actually happen. I mean, from
maybe.
it's not far-fetched.
Well, things are moving in that direction already.
Yes, they are.
And let's just say it happens on March 1st.
Okay.
The war ends, and neither side is happy with the result, but the war and the destruction ends.
Okay.
With Ukraine and Russia. A deal is brokered, and I don't know how you're going to give credit to anybody other than Trump.
I mean, honestly,
they'll try not to give him the credit.
Oh, they for sure will hide every single thing
Right.
that he had to do with it. Yeah.
And then, but think about it. He got it done, and got it done in fairly quick time. That's what I believe is going to happen.
From November before
Yes, I'm getting there too.
Okay,
you get ahead of me.
me.
The motherfuckers on the other side are going to be, but even though he got it done, he didn't get it done on day one. And the rest of the country, we're going to look at those stupid motherfuckers and be like, the fuck are you talking about? We understood what he meant by that. That he's telling you by saying day one how much of a priority it is.
Yeah.
You keep taking everything this dude says literally. What you should do is take what he says seriously. They don't take it seriously, they take it literally. The rest of us We take him seriously, but know not to take him literally.
Yeah.
And I also know that, I'm kind of like this, where I want to put out good vibes. I want to put out positive messages. I believe in the law of attraction, and I believe Donald Trump knows exactly what the law of attraction is and believes in it too.
Oh, yeah.
And, that's why he says, this is going to be the greatest, biggest, best ever. It's going to be so huge. You're not going to know what to do. It's going to be so great. What's wrong with that message, man?
I think people just want. I don't know if it's because people don't understand that he is exaggerating to an extent where he's putting more emphasis on it to bring more.
He's not doing it. He's not exaggerating to pull one over on you. You see what I mean?
He's doing it because of the message, right? Like when you step in front of a podium in front of millions of people, you don't want to just sit there and be bland as hell and say exactly like, okay, imagine if Trump was like, yeah, we'll stop the war between the first day and maybe the second month, give or take. Like that doesn't sound good off the tongue. So yes, you're going to say the first day.
So the Biden administration has had the chance from October 7th of 2023 until now to resolve or play a role in the ending of the Israel-Hamas conflict.
Yeah.
You mean to tell me nothing really gets done, but on the way out the door, he gets lucky and it's Biden who got that deal done? But here's the truth. Biden didn't want to tell the truth when he was asked the question yesterday. He didn't want to tell the truth.
He might not know the truth, I'll be honest with
maybe,
you.
maybe. But do you know who did tell the truth?
Who was that?
The guy who told the truth, and there are others, but the guy who told the truth was the spokesperson for national security, I believe, and basically said, I forget the guy's name off the top of my head, but there was somebody from the incoming Trump administration that was part of the negotiations and the sit down. Now, here's where, as I understand it, and I don't think I'm wrong.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't think I'm wrong that the outline of it actually was done by the Biden administration and was
sent.
Was refused like months and months ago.
Okay.
That piece of no, we ain't doing that.
Yeah.
But Trump came in.
Now
he had a talk with Benjamin Netanyahu y'all are gonna do this deal, kind of a thing. He leaned on him a little bit. Do you see what I mean?
Okay.
But it was him leaning on them
to get it out and to
get it done and get it, and that he even admitted and said that it was a very unusual that two administrations, an outgoing and incoming administration, would work together in that way and work to get it done together, and gave a great amount of credit to the incoming administration and this particular individual that I
was it Kirby? John Kirby, I believe.
I should have pulled up the article that I read. And if you listen, which I did, if you listen to foreign news sources from the Middle East, you know who they credit? Trump.
Yeah. I think
this is the American media and Democrats who don't want to give him credit. And it's not about it shouldn't be about who gets credit.
No.
Share the credit and be done. But they don't want to give him anything. They don't want to give him any wins.
Jake Sullivan?
No, because he might have been the one. He might have been the one, or it might have been his spokesperson who said that it was the incoming Trump administration. Gotcha. But I didn't see what he exactly said, but it was somebody else who was a spokesperson for that. And that was, and I can look it up, but that's not
it's not super important.
It's not the super important to to the central idea of the story.
Yeah.
But that's just that is the point. That things they have already been saying that we're idiots. Trump is already not keeping promises and failed you. Where we're looking at this, we're positive about what's going on. We can't wait. Business people are becoming more active and are already gearing up and are ready to make America great again. And people have a more positive attitude right now than they've had recently.
Though, especially,
and that matters. Yes. Mindset matters.
Yeah, 100%.
They're telling us Trump has failed. And then we see this stuff like, what the fuck are you talking about? Shit's already getting done. It's already getting done. May not be on day one. Okay. But how about this? You know, Trump wants to make changes with the FBI.
Yes. Yes. That's
and many of us believe those changes need to be made, right?
Oh, yeah.
Because we don't trust the FBI. And Democrats, how dare you not trust the FBI? Okay, if we criticize the judiciary, it's how dare you criticize any judge? But when things don't go their way, they criticize the judges. So just shut the fuck up and fuck you, and I'm tired of your stupid little hypocritical bullshit. Okay, and if Republicans sometimes do it, they can shut the fuck up too. I'm tired of that kind. Most of us are. It's not about... For those of us who are conservatives and are registered Republicans, for most of us, it's not about the party right now. It is solely about solutions and coming together and finding partners and getting things done. That's why I can't believe I've said the things I've said about John Fetterman. And they're all confused. Democrats are all confused about what's John Fetterman's motives. The dude is way smarter than I thought he was.
Okay.
At least in political strategy. And I don't think he's just doing it for that reason. I actually believe he's sincere.
Okay.
I believe he's sincere in his support of Israel. You know, I think he's sincere in wanting for the U.S. to not lose whatever share we have of the steel industry.
Gotcha.
and lose that kind of thing. You know what I mean? And Trump doesn't either. We need that to be ours. You know, we everything can't be for sale. Okay?
Yeah.
We don't know the future. And a lot of military equipment, a lot of bombs, a whole lot of shit. You need motherfucking steel.
Yes.
Right?
It's kind of, I'm pretty sure it's the number one
Yes.
material that's used in the world, isn't it?
Yeah. See, Carville, Fetterman, just desperate to get attention. Get the fuck out of here. The one who's desperate to get attention is you. You're an old ass motherfucker that nobody gives a shit about. And most of this younger generation on both don't even know who the fuck you are, dude. They don't know.
I mean, you're not wrong. You are not wrong.
Yeah. It's not about attention. It's about picking there will be something that Fetterman will oppose Trump on. But on the things that he doesn't oppose Trump on, where they align, why not work together to get things done? And where you oppose him. But to say because you oppose him here or because he's not a part of your party, we're not going to work with him, People are done with that from both sides.
That's just the stupid
They're
mentality.
just dumb.
Yeah.
We're done with it. It's about practicality. That's the word I wanted. Fetterman is just being practical now. Just being practical. But they say he's moving to the right. To the right. Democrats used to give a shit about Jews. They did. Jews have historically in the past voted more for the left than the right. But that's shifting as it should. Who's really supporting?
Yeah, honestly though.
And
again, like
it's Christian conservatives.
Like you said it before, like it really shouldn't matter what side they're leaning towards. Like as long as we're going towards a solution, left, right, center,
right.
It does not matter. Like at the end of the day, if we're gonna get to the solution,
yeah,
that is the important part.
But egg prices haven't come down yet. I even saw somebody post a picture that tried to say there were no eggs at all and that it's Trump's fault and had a picture of, like empty, completely empty shelf, not even one carton.
Gotcha.
Dude, I was just at the store yesterday. There may be, it's been like it has been, that there hasn't been, like sometimes when I go to get orange juice, there might be 2 name brands available and the generic Kroger's Fry brand.
Yeah.
Or there just may be just one of those brands available. That the shelf, that everything isn't completely. It's been that way since the pandemic recovery. And it's just how it is. And I don't think since the election, I don't think egg prices have gone up or down. They're higher than what they were, that apparently pissed people off about the price of eggs, and they're just where they were 2 months ago. They really hasn't moved in the last 2 months. That's all I'm saying.
I honestly couldn't tell you.
Yeah.
Like you said, that one episode, like
if I want eggs, I buy eggs.
Exactly. It shouldn't matter what the price.
I don't. It is what it is.
Things are going to fluctuate over the years. Like,
but the guy literally hasn't taken office yet. You're trying to say we're stupid and he failed us and we were gullible, and we're over here like, wow, shit's happening already. Things are getting done.
And he's not.
Well, I mentioned the FBI, and then I went up. I did my weave, and so now I'm back. The FBI apparently in December dropped or shut down like their DEI office.
What?
Yes.
What?
And look at the changes, whether y'all can hate him if you want. I don't care. You can believe he's not sincere. I don't care. But changes are happening, and they're happening in a good way. At least it seems like so far with Mark Zuckerberg and Facebook.
Okay.
Like, if you want to still all be mad at him, be mad at him. Well, he's the getting rid of the fact checking, and they're going to go to more of a system like X, where it's like the community notes,
gotcha,
kind of a thing. And I agree with him. Like, because who are you to do this? You and I have had this conversation. Who gets to be the arbiter of truth? Because when y'all lied, see, Trump lies about crowd size. You all knowingly lied about the Hunter laptop, and you got 50, 51, whatever that fucking number was, of intelligence community officials, current and former, to say that looked like Russian propaganda shit, that really wasn't Hunter's laptop.
Yeah.
These you came out with such force, and we're supposed to, with supposedly people we should respect and believe, some of the people that are at the highest end of law enforcement that we should be able to trust, literally lied to us. And then after it was proven it was a lie, it still took over another 2 years for it to be admitted that it was a lie. And that was definitely an influence on the election. Was it an influence on the election that cost Trump the election? I don't know. Nobody can say for sure. But it was an influence. That if people had known that that was true, some people say that would have mattered to them. But my point is, what are you lying about? That's a serious lie. Somebody exaggerating crowd size? Get the fuck out of here, man. And even if he exaggerates, you can't say that the crowds weren't really motherfucking big and that people would wait 8, 10, 12 hours in line.
I'll be honest, that's kind of crazy. That's look, I can understand you really enjoy a politician, you really want to get behind him, but 8 to 10 hours, man, just sitting there waiting, like, man, I respect it, but I could never.
In
horrible weather, not even bad weather, horrible weather. Oh my God, I could never. I respect it, but I could never.
No.
Yeah, no. The amount of people that would show up to those rallies, and like, it's impressive. I'll be honest with you, it really is.
Yeah, well, of course I'm the fucking guy, and you're the one listening to the fucking guy, and what I need you to do is fucking hit that subscribe button and share whatever episode. Find an episode you really like, share it with a friend, introduce them to the show, or tell them that they don't even have to listen. Just pull it up on their phone for them. Just ask for their phone, pull it up on the phone for them, do the search, get to the Outlaw Apostle podcast, hit the subscribe button for them. We are gonna drag people to this show, and I appreciate all of you who have been here from the very beginning, and it's still just the beginning. Still just the beginning. More to do. The Outlaw Apostle Podcast. I'm your host, Troy Neff. I'm the fucking guy. Well, let's show now that shit is really getting done even beforehand, right?
Yeah.
We have RFK Jr. and he wants to get rid of chemicals in our food that are harming kids and adults. Our government officially still says that ultra-processed, highly palatable foods, like, you can still have a healthy diet with those. And that's just total garbage, man. But apparently we've known that this dye, particularly red, number 3, has been linked to cancer for decades. Decades. And we couldn't get rid of it. So, and I like the approach. The approach isn't to ban Fruit Loops.
Yeah.
The idea is to get rid of the dye, and then the companies will have to adjust. However they decide to adjust, that, what I think is going to happen is they're going to use more fruit juices, and the colors are going to be more faded than really super bright. That's the difference.
Oh no. Not the red color.
And obviously, taste is going to still matter, but even though cereal is not, that we've had this conversation, is not the best thing for you to eat at breakfast. They're not banning cereal or trying to ban it. They're just trying to make whatever is on the shelf at least a little bit more healthy. At least a little bit.
It's not handing out cancer to everyone.
Well, when we just are doing it wrong. I think we are a great country. We do a lot of awesome things, but sometimes other countries do things better than we do. And they don't allow 10,000 chemicals in their food. They allow like 400 that are approved. And it's not like and usually Democrats, right, are for regulation. They're for regulation. Well, these food companies and the use of these chemicals, they're basically self-regulated.
I mean, yeah.
They just tell the FDA, oh, it's good. They're like, okay. Or the people that are in charge are also being paid by these companies. And if you don't think that's an influence, then again, we are not the dumb ones. Y'all are dumb as motherfucking shit. Like, come on, man. That's putting the wolf in charge of the hen house. And the wolf saying, I'm not going to eat those chickens.
Got it from here.
Don't
worry about it.
I'm going to protect them. It's all good.
No, I mean, you're
like,
not
come
wrong,
on,
though.
man.
Like,
but the fact that this was just done by the FDA,
it's kind of crazy.
Before
it's been
RFK Jr. is even approved,
like technically, and yeah.
Right.
They're
this would not have been done. I guarantee you, this ban would not have been done had Kamala Harris won the election.
Yeah.
They only did this now so that they could take credit for it.
Yeah.
Well, we were part of that too. We did that so that they have this narrative later that they did it too. Yeah. No, they could have done it any time. It's no different than immigration. We had lower immigration, illegal immigration. We had Trump executive orders. Biden removed those. We had a flood of illegals for the next 2.5 years. And then in the last year, they implemented a lot of the same regulations that that they had at the beginning to slow it down. So for the election purposes, they can say, it's getting better.
This is what we were doing
getting
to
better.
Make it better. Yeah.
Well, what would have been better is to leave those things in place until another deal was reached. And you can blame Republicans if you want for that deal not being reached. I don't want just any deal. I want it done right. And that deal was not a good deal where you're going to allow a high amount of people in before certain things are triggered. And that's basically how that worked and why people were against it. And hopefully they break it up in parts, because when they've tried to do a comprehensive bill, this is what I know, over 20 years, okay? 56, I'm old. But the last 20 years of my lifetime in talking about immigration, a comprehensive immigration bill has failed under multiple administrations. So how about we not do it comprehensively? How about we break it up into parts? And the reason I believe that it needs to be done that way, and the reason the comprehensive bill fails, is especially conservatives, they will be willing, those same conservatives who are against the comprehensive bill and against certain provisions in it, will be for those things if certain other things happen first. Like finish the wall. They want the wall finished. So if you finish the wall, then we can talk about what we do with these different groups who have different designations, different groups that, where some of the people were brought here as children and they've been here for 20 years and this is the only life they've ever known. They don't really have a place to go back to in Mexico. You do. You went back and forth. You're legal, but you know what I'm saying? But you have experience there. There are people here, Latinos, who they don't have a back home neighborhood like you talk about. Yeah. That's not a thing for them.
No, I know. Yeah.
If they got kicked out, they would be like throwing them into something they're totally unfamiliar with.
Yeah, I know a lot. I know a lot of people that don't even know Spanish, and
I was just gonna say they might not even know the fucking language, dude. Because it just brings up something funny. When I was in high school wrestling, I don't remember Ramirez, Gonzalez. I don't.
Hispanic.
Freddie.
He was Hispanic.
He was Hispanic. The coaches reading up like different kids,
Like names, yeah.
that they have,
Like
that they're having
attendance.
issues.
Okay.
No, they're
Okay.
having issues with their grades.
Gotcha.
And he was failing both English and Spanish.
That's kind of crazy. I can understand it though. Not
But
getting
it was
too deep
funny,
into it,
dude.
but yeah.
And the coach was just like, "What the fuck, dude?"
It's like, how do you not know either language very well? Like,
That's not good. You got to at least get C's, bro. But that's, those things, and coming up with a solution of how they are truly made citizens will get much more support if we can trust that we've plugged some holes in the fence. Now, the fence is always going to have holes. People are always going to find a way, but we want it dramatically reduced. And for anybody to say that walls don't work at all, you're just dumb. You're an idiot. They do work. Nothing works 100%, but these work tremendously well. All right. So, and we need to fix what, that when people do come in and they claim that they're in fear for their life in their home country and stuff, and sometimes that's true and sometimes not, that there are organizations now that literally teach people what to say so that when they do cross, they can get a free pass eventually into the country, and they might have to be monitored and they have to show up to court, and then they don't show. That stuff just happens.
Yeah.
Okay. There's things that need to be fixed. My whole point is that a comprehensive bill that includes all of those different factors, nobody trusts it, because whenever we've done that in the past, and we have,
Yeah.
okay, they did it under Reagan, where bunch of people are here, boom, you're a citizen. People are not for that anymore. That what they're for is, because then we were supposed to get security and never got the security.
Yeah.
So what they want now is the security first. Let's take these steps, then we'll do the other ones. Does that make sense?
I mean, yeah.
And it's really not unreasonable.
Because if you're going to try to do 20 different steps, there's always going to be a weak point in one of those steps. So by just taking it one by one, it's always
take it one by one.
Yeah, it's always going to be a lot better, because then you can understand the first step, fully understand the first step, and then move on to the second step instead of putting out 20
and be able to
different
trust
rules.
that it's going to be done.
Yeah.
Because we can't every so many years just wave a wand over people. Like, we just cannot do that. Now, there are times when we as a country have allowed a greater flow of immigrants into the country than others. And that's perfectly acceptable. But you have to have a period of time to let those people come in. And these are people coming legally, right? And we need to improve that system. But to let them assimilate and become Americans.
Or
respect your heritage. But the idea is to become an American. An American means you're a mutt. You're joining the rest of us. Like everybody gets a chance. No, you wanted to?
I lost the thought.
Okay,
Yeah, no,
that's okay.
That's why I shut up. Yeah.
Okay, it's okay. Totally cool. I just wasn't going to give you a chance.
I was going to say, because you said they're all becoming American. I think the better way to put it is to behave like an American. Like when you're in America, you behave like an American, like American culture and stuff like that. I think it's a little too much to say that you're just getting rid of.
Well, yeah, I mean, I'm not saying somebody's
that's why
getting.
really,
No, I don't think somebody gets rid of it.
No, I got what you're saying.
And I'm not saying you ever ignore your homeland's flag, for instance.
Exactly.
Okay.
That's what I was trying to get at it.
But you're an American now.
Yeah.
The flag that's on top is ours.
Yeah. No, I get that.
Again, it's America first.
Yeah.
You know, America is offering you that opportunity.
Yeah.
And you came here for a reason because you thought there was a better opportunity here than where you came from.
Yeah.
So don't come here, take advantage of that opportunity, and then shit on us.
No, yeah.
You know what I mean?
No,
Like,
that's for sure.
But they do. There are groups that do that. Like it's insanity. And what's worst is some of the white natives. You know, here's something I want to say because I've been watching the hearings the last couple days.
Okay.
Big chunks of it. Of Pam Bondi, the future soon to be Attorney General. That chick is smart as fuck, dude.
He knows how to talk.
She is super smart.
knows
She'll
how to
take
talk.
no shit, man. I love it. Pete Hegseth has done great. Bunch of others. Mark Rubio. There's a whole bunch of them that have done really, really good. And then the Treasury, incoming Treasury Secretary too. I love it. And just so you conservatives out there know, he is gay. Trump appointed or is nominated for Secretary of Treasury, a gay man. Because, that's what somebody who is homophobic would do. Homophobic people often, hang out with, embrace, and nominate gay people for very important positions. Yeah, because that's what homophobic people do. Fucking stupid ass motherfuckers. Like, seriously. And the one thing he appreciates about Trump is he's not being nominated to add diversity to Trump's administration.
He's doing it because he's good at his job.
He's very good. He's very good. He's very, very smart. That's why he was that's why he was nominated. So wasn't given an extra special pass or a few more points because of what his sexual preferences are.
Yeah.
He's got the position based on merit.
Yeah.
And that's where things are headed back to. It's based on nobody cares about your color. Nobody cares about, this whole bullshit about the LGBTQ people are like scared because like Trump is going to reverse gay marriage or something. Dude, that shit's done. We're so far, but we're not going through that
so
shit
far
again.
in the past.
It's in the past. Okay, it just is done. That stuff's not going to be. There should be no fear. There should be no fear. And if you're fearful, you're just buying in to liberal bullshit to divide you from everyone else. Because I can tell you as a conservative, we don't motherfucking care. What we do care about right now is we need lots of things to get better in this country. And we want the right people in there to do it. And when something's not working, we want things changed and to keep working at that to find out what works.
Will work, yeah.
Yeah. So, I just wanted to throw that in there. But I've been watching it, and I am going to say something about race. There is something that has bothered me about these hearings.
Okay.
And I looked some of them up, and there wasn't as many as I would have guessed there were. Like, let's say there's 20 people on a committee.
Okay.
It seemed to me watching the hearings that the number was greater. There might be 5 or 6 guys, white guys, that are above the age of 70. But watching the hearing itself, it feels like over 50% of them.
Yeah.
Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah. Like the tone and like the way people carry themselves.
I'm a conservative. I'm a registered Republican, but party is not first for me. Conservatism is. Practicality is. He may have maybe he's had a great career. But that career should have been over about 10 years ago.
And who are you referring to?
Senator Chuck Grassley. I believe that motherfucker is 91 years old.
You said 91?
91.
And he's still
Dude, he's
in
still
a position of power?
He is way more coherent than Biden is at 91. But you could still tell he's
like
older.
Slipping, yeah.
Well, I wouldn't even say slipping. He's older,
slower. Gotcha.
But it's not.
He's still there.
But he's still fully there.
Gotcha.
Where Biden slips in and out.
God, I mean, he forgot how to sign a fucking bill. Like, did you see that? That he was struggling to sign the. I'll send it to you after the show.
Yeah.
But yeah.
So yeah, look right there. Age 91.
That's crazy.
91.
That is crazy.
Dude, nobody. He
doesn't look like anyone either.
Well,
I don't know. I've seen pretty like worse like 91s.
I've seen him, multiple
over
times
the years.
on these committees. And, he has a lot of tenure. He has, he's in the leadership in the Republican Senate, he's just been around a long time. He's on important committees. He's the chairman of an important committee. But my point is, I'm a conservative, and even I'm saying, go the fuck home. That is just too long. And I don't understand people who are not for term limits.
I don't understand why it was never a thing in the first place. I'll be honest with you. I get
Well,
the whole like power.
It is a thing. It is a thing for the president,
Yeah.
right?
So why isn't
It's
it
a thing
for
in
everyone
most
else?
states.
Yeah.
It's a thing like, I believe Governor DeSantis, he can't run again.
Yeah.
He's done. Governor Newsom in California, he can't run again. He's done.
That might be for a good thing, though.
Yeah, I think so too. But it's done.
Yeah.
It's done. And because there are a lot of advantages to being the incumbent, to just say that we, the people voting, are the ones, and we shouldn't be denied having that choice and blah, blah, blah. It hasn't worked. Nobody is that good. That was never meant to be this way. Ever.
Yeah.
Ever.
We're not a dictatorship. Like we're
we
meant
need
to
to get more 40 to 60-year-olds.
Yeah.
And less 60 to 90-year-olds.
Yes.
And you're
Please.
talking to somebody who was turning 57 soon.
Yeah. No, but like,
But
you're not running a country right now, or play a huge
I could.
part. Much better than most people right now. I'll be
And
honest
I
with
keep
you.
thinking,
There's still a chance.
what did I do?
The glasses.
My glasses.
Yeah,
All right.
yeah.
He don't care. He shows his dirty desk. That always flips me out when he does that. When they show that, man, that looks so sloppy.
Yeah, no.
It's not a good look.
Not a good look, no. Especially because the room is very dark in the first place. So like you can't really like make out all the items on the desk. So it just kind of looks like clutter.
It is clutter.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't like that. But love Joe. Love the show.
I love him.
And so that's I guess my general thought on this is that we got to do something different. And I'm willing to sacrifice an old Republican senator. So I'm not just complaining about it and pointing to Democrats. I'm not doing that. I'm saying both sides. This should not be a thing. It just should not be a thing.
Because they don't get any like psychological tests or anything like that. Like, right? Like, or at least that. Like, if you're not going to have like an age limit.
We just had that woman in the house who disappeared and ended up with dementia in a nursing home, and nobody knew she was there, including her staff.
Yeah.
They were like, dude, somebody should be that's got to be something illegal in there.
No,
that should not be a thing.
It should
dude.
not be happening. No, but like
that's insane.
Like if we're not gonna have like age like limits to that. We should at least have them like required to take a psychological test at the end of every year or something.
You know what? Let's just have term limits.
Honestly, though, that simplify everything.
So, like in the House, it should be 8 to 10 years, which would be their 2-year terms in the House, which would be 4 to 5 terms.
Yeah.
Because they're 2 years. So you go with 8 or 10. With if a president is 8 and total, 2 4-year terms, and a senator is 6, and maybe they should be 4, but if they are 6, it absolutely shouldn't be longer than 3, and probably 2. 12 years is enough to go and get things done that you want to see done.
I mean, even half of that, 6 years, you can play a lot of like.
Yeah, but that's the term. It should be, we'll give them 2 terms. We'll say 12, but certainly no more than 18, because that's too long.
No, that's way too long.
And most of the time, what is going to happen, and not for everyone, because there's only 100 senators, right? But somebody often will start out in their state government as a state legislator, and then maybe a state senator, or state legislator or state senator that becomes a member of the House of Representatives, a congressman, in the House of Representatives. And then when your time's up there, if you're so good, then maybe you get a chance to run for, Senate, or you go back and run for governor in your state or whatever. But they're weeded out, and you're bringing people in, fresh people who are business people with a fresh perspective, and then they're going home and remembering what it's like to be like the rest of us. That Washington is just so disconnected from us.
That's a great point. That's a great point. Having them go home and be part of.
That's what you're supposed to do.
Yeah.
That's what it was meant to be. It was not meant to be. And there are people like Marcy Kaptur back in Ohio that served, 30-some years in the House of Representatives, dude. That's
way too much time.
Crazy.
Time changes too quick for someone to be sitting in office for that long.
Back home. It was not meant to be a lifetime job. You were supposed to bring your personal experience to the government, serve, and then just go back home.
Yeah.
That's what you were meant to do. That was the whole design of the thing. Well, it's not working that way. And so if we need to institute, we keep talking about it, and we've talked about it since the 90s, dude, the early 90s. We have talked about term limits, because I remember Newt Gingrich in the 90s, when Bill Clinton was president, there was a lot of discussion about term limits, and it was a priority. But getting them to term limit themselves and vote themselves out of job,
hell no.
It's just hard to do.
They're like, we'll get to that later. Later, we'll get to that.
It's like getting them to vote on, don't give us that raise.
Yeah, right. Yeah,
don't give me the raise. I'm good.
Yeah, I definitely don't want that. Yeah. Oh man, that's kind of funny.
No, man, but think about that, because that means it's 2025. That means
it's been quite a while.
That means well over 30 years, or just a little over 30 years. And we've talked about it and never done a thing about it, dude.
But it's funny when you think about it, how much culture has changed over those 30 years. So by having the same people in office in those over that time span, their mentality won't change over the years. So why, it's not gonna change with the time.
Yeah.
So term limits would help a lot, because time is continuously just changing and quick.
Oh yeah.
Especially now with social media, it's constantly changing. So no, I agree with that. I agree with that for sure.
Yeah. So you just said social media. So that brings us to the next thing that's on the plate.
Good old TikTok.
TikTok.
Ah,
And I know some people don't get it. They don't get social media, especially people my age don't get it. What's been done, how important social media has been and is to building brands now. You know, the whole shift in our culture and influence. Now, go to AJ Brown. There you go. AJ Brown caught reading. Yeah. So this just happened. Like
I'm reading on the sidelines, and people were up in flames. They said, "How dare he take out a book and read? We're in the middle of a game. How dare he take out a book and read? We're in the middle of the game. He should be rooting on his teammates. He should not be reading. He should be rooting on his teammates." And you know what? At first glance, you might be like, "Yeah, you're right." But then when you dove deep, and then when you dove deep and when you actually spoke to him about what he's reading and why he's reading, it makes a lot of sense. He tweeted after the game and he said, "The game is 90% mental." What is mental?
Mental health.
Mental health? What does mental mean? When something is mental, brain power.
In the unconscious world.
In the unconscious world of the body. But what is mental? Like when you took your fast today,
all right.
some of you were stressed out. I just want to get a good grade. It's mental. Training your brain to conquer it. Part of this, 90% of this game is mental. Training your brain that you can do it. And 10% physical. For me, he said, it's not for everybody, but for him it's 90% mental. Getting through barriers, dropping passes, losing games. That's all mental for him. I bring it, the book, to every game, and I read it between each drive. I use it to refocus and lock in despite what may transpire in the game, good or bad. People tend to create controversy when they don't know the truth. So a lot of people were saying, "Oh, he's not in the game.
what I wanted to see
He's
is the name of the book
He's not
again."
in this." But what does
But
he say
anyways,
about
he did this, and it was like she described. You know, people like, "Oh my God, why is he reading a book?" And you know, he must not be happy, and he's mad because he's not paying attention. But I want to make a point about it related to TikTok. Inner excellence. Okay. And I used to read things like that and still do. You used to have the inner game of golf, the inner game of tennis, like all these, like it was a
Okay.
series and
All right.
stuff like that. And that was back when I was in high school, even we used to read that stuff, So I've been into this stuff for a long, long time. And people know what I think about mindset. But that book has it came out in 2020.
Yeah.
This is why do these players, why do these athletes, why do these celebrities, why do these just social media influencers, some of them make the money that they make? What happened to this book? So look, Inner Excellence Sales.
It's up 53 million? Am I reading that wrong? 53,273,000.
So it was selling. He was still
200%.
so from 2020, was when it came out, and so sales had fallen off a little bit. Okay, let's say that. It wasn't a top-selling book because it's been out for over 4 years. That's a hell of an increase.
I don't think I've ever seen that percentage number in my life, to be honest with you.
But my point is, think about that. How much was that worth to that author? And they didn't have a deal, okay? But here's what I would be doing. I'd be trying to get my book in his hands and somebody to take a picture of it him walking around or him going out to breakfast with his family and having that book
just in his hands.
in
Like,
his
he might
hands.
even
Not
be
this
reading
book,
it.
but a new book.
Yeah.
Know, that he's reading or something.
Yeah.
That's what I'd be trying to do and promoting that on social media, because look what just happened. That's what I mean. See, people don't understand. This is why they get paid what they get paid, and the money that is potential
because
to be made on
influence that they
social,
have,
because there's real influence. You can think that these people have no influence at all, and who would ever listen to them. Skyrockets to #1 hottest seller on Amazon. Dude, that book wasn't in probably 8 or 9. This book was not in the top 100. And now it's the #1 selling book. And he didn't even tell people to really read it or anything.
No, he just got caught reading it.
He got caught reading it. People made a big deal out of it. And so you must say, well, what was he reading? Let's see why. Like, is it?
Yeah.
That's influence. That's our economy now. Remember, what did I say? Our economy now is based on attention. We are in an attention economy. And that's TikTok. Here's my thing about TikTok and the Chinese government getting information on us. Don't tell me that the Chinese government is using TikTok or can use TikTok to influence me, to target me with ads or whatever it may be, or influence my opinion. The only concern I have about the Chinese knowing anything about me is only related to my money. As long as my money is protected, and as long as by me using TikTok or any social media platform, that they can't somehow figure out a way to access my bank account and take all my money, then I don't fucking care.
I'm okay with it.
Yeah. I've bought things because of like things that I'm glad I bought.
Have you seen all the memes on TikTok about that?
Mhm.
Yeah.
But here's the thing. Every other U.S. social media platform does the same motherfucking thing.
Yep.
So just stop it. You're lying to me. I don't believe you. Don't tell me it's a security risk. When you have abused your power and attacked the First Amendment and pressured social media companies like Facebook, like the CEO Mark Zuckerberg,
Yep.
and put them in the positions that they've been in, and to go after people and to influence what people think by algorithms, by what comes up when we do searches, those are all U.S. companies. And if you're okay with them doing it, to do this shit about TikTok, get the fuck out of here. I don't believe you.
I agree.
I just don't.
I 100%
There's no difference. And people like it, and you let the fucking Chinese come in here and buy all the motherfucking farmland. You're all right with that. Why are you okay with that?
Because it's not social media.
Dude.
You don't got the eyeballs on you. It's all about attention, just like you said. And China's getting all the attention, so America doesn't, they don't like that.
They thought this was going to be a way to attack China, and this is not what we wanted the attack to China to be. Here's the deal. Trump put tariffs on China. Some of those tariffs are still in place. And he also came to an agreement with China that they were supposed to buy a certain amount of American goods within a period of time.
Okay.
And what happened was the Biden administration did not enforce that part of the agreement. So China has not been buying what they originally had agreed to buy.
Gotcha.
And that's one of the things that the new Trump administration is going to do is going to go back to, look, you agreed to do this, you need to do this, and now we need to increase it. And if you don't do that, we're going to put the pressure on you. I want the government to stop China from stealing shit from American entrepreneurs or stealing our drugs that we've spent billions of dollars to create, and for them to flout our laws and immediately make a generic of that drug that we just spent billions to come up with in testing, in trials, studies, the whole process that you go through, which is a very long process to get approved. And then they're just going to fuck us over and sell it cheaper.
Yeah.
Okay. Or our music or our, our content. That's the protection we want our government to do from China, and also any potential military threat as well. And that just comes through being strong. It just comes through having a very highly prepared level of just readiness and equipment and whatever we need.
Yeah.
Whether it be weapons, whether it be ships, whatever it is, just that's what.
Focus on that.
Focus on that.
Not the social media.
Not the social media.
Yeah.
Where they're just doing the same thing U.S. companies are doing.
Yep.
It's just dumb. Now, I do have a problem with TikTok, okay?
Okay.
As I've had with also American firms. TikTok will suppress certain content that I've put up. It took me a while to build 15,000 followers, and I know that doesn't seem like very much, but it was a very good 15,000. That 15,000 was continuing to grow and was, let's just say, was way more profitable than what I'm going to tell you about. I'm just going to tell you it was very, very profitable for me. And I wasn't even getting paid. I wasn't even monetized by any of these platforms. I'm still not. I make my money other ways. But I was able to do it because of these platforms. What happened was, back some years ago, I had gotten banned. I had 6 30-day bans. Yeah, on Facebook, like complete bans where I couldn't post, couldn't comment anything for 30 days. And some of them were almost back to back, where I was banned. I was out of Facebook jail for 3 days and I was banned
Right
again.
back into it.
And it had to do with politics, or it had to do with my language and not taking shit from other people. That apparently it was okay for them to say shit about me or people in my life, but how dare I say it? Especially, they're very sensitive about the word bitch. Almost always. Even if you just say stop bitching, or,
Yeah.
Like on TikTok, even one time, I messaged someone who had messaged me, and I gave him my cell phone number and said, hit me up. Hit me up. Now, you know what that means.
Yeah.
Okay, well, their program didn't, and that got picked up on and wouldn't go through because I said, hit me. It's violence. Yeah, that's how stupid. So, see, we think all this technology is really smart, and sometimes it is, and sometimes it's not.
Yeah.
Okay. And then, so that's what got me when I had those 6 30-day bans in a year. That's what got me to move over to TikTok.
Gotcha.
So I wasn't on TikTok in the early part, but in the middle part where it became much, much bigger, right? And I got on that and built a very, very good following that was very good for me and my business. And then other people started creating accounts using my videos, fake accounts, and ripping people off. and I reported it, and they wouldn't do anything about it. But eventually, my account got shut down because of my informational videos, and also for the fact that I got some penalties here and there for going after people who were trolling me. And again, this is not me starting shit with someone else. It's them starting shit with me
On your
and
page.
me not taking it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Dude, I'm so busy. I don't have a lot of time to do that and search other people's stuff. Now I'll comment on friends more on Facebook.
Yeah.
That'll happen where I'll make comments and stuff. But more of the time, and I do it on X now just because I'm trying to build a following there too. And maybe this will be good for me that, people on these other platforms will move over to YouTube now and my podcast, and they'll move over to Instagram, which I had to shut down my Instagram and start over because of bots. And, so maybe because I've found that in my life that sometimes things that we think are bad or not very good end up working out to be very good in the end. But TikTok was very, very good for me. But they shut down my account and I had to start completely over. And now I think I'm at around maybe 2,600, So it's kind of frustrating.
Yeah.
And I've only had one run where I added a really good number of people in a short period of time, where I added about 1,000 people within like 2 weeks, which was really good. And it's just getting something to go viral, but some of my stuff gets suppressed. And that just happened to me on Facebook, but Facebook does it differently now. Instead of me getting a flat 30-day ban, because I posted something on my regular page, I can't go live now, and I haven't done that in a while anyways, and I can't comment in groups, and I didn't do this in a group, so I don't understand why they penalized me in groups. And I put up a post where it wasn't a video. It was a picture of a peptide, and I gave information about how that peptide works.
So like
I basically got banned because of, prescription drugs. And it's not a prescription drug. Now, it's a drug, and it really isn't a drug, it's a peptide. It's a peptide that a doctor can write a prescription for, and a lot of times it will be for a compound pharmacy, but they are totally legal to purchase on your own without a prescription.
Gotcha.
Now, then it's up to you to make sure you're getting quality, legit shit. Okay. You need to understand that. But it's not illegal for you to do. You are allowed to do it and you are allowed to use it. But because of that post, and even in the review, they upheld it. And now I can't do certain like things on stuff like Facebook.
That. Oh, gotcha.
Again,
because of the ban. Yeah.
So that's my problem with the social media. There's not a good way sometimes. The way they set up the reviews, they don't always give you an area where you can explain, and give them some other information like, hey.
It's very basic, like,
you're a techie. You don't know about fucking peptides. Okay? Let me explain a little bit more about it. And a lot of times, on TikTok, I have been able to fight that stuff and got stuff restored.
Okay.
But not always. And then now just again on Facebook, and I can tell, when something is getting suppressed just because of the number of people I have on there that, I'm going to get 20 comments and 50 likes on just stupid shit.
Yeah.
Okay. And so when I put something out serious, and 4 hours later, I don't even have 3 likes, I know that you're not putting my stuff in somebody else's feed.
Yeah.
Because of the topic and stuff. Like, again, that's where the focus needs to be. Okay? Either they can censor content or they can't. And who are they? This is going back, me weaving again. Who are they? And that's the conclusion that Zuckerberg came to be the arbiters of truth. What's true, what's not true? Who do we trust? Because we couldn't even trust 51 people in the intelligence community to be honest about Hunter's laptop.
Yeah.
We couldn't trust them. You know, there are people still today who want to say that Trump is an asset of Russia, or now that Tulsi Gabbard is an asset, like a spy, like working for the enemy. Like, get the fuck out of here.
They'll make up pretty much anything to get people on their side.
Yeah, that's not being censored. So if you're going to be allowed to say that, then, you know, people need what you should be pretty much be able to say what you want. We'll say what we want. And you just, for your own self, you got to discern it and figure out what's the real truth and what you believe is most likely. And I believe that me personally, I have a very, very good ability of weeding through that stuff. But it's also my ability to be open enough to change my mind based on newer, more accurate information. That we thought that going back to the two recent incidents in New Orleans and in Vegas. You know, New Orleans, that was a terrorist event. Vegas, not really a terrorist event.
Yeah.
But initially, I believed it was. But based on
It's
more
like
information,
like a statement, like
and
act or whatever.
knowing what, you know, the intent was, that wasn't the case. Yeah. But being open to that. And a lot of people just are not open to shit. They just get shit in their head and they're just done. Like, it just, again, I've always wanted to know, what information did you intake to come up with that conclusion? And is it even possible for me to give you any information that you might consider, and that if you did believe it was true, would it change your mind? And if I don't think it will, I don't waste my time with you. Because why should I?
Yeah.
It means that, like, because people will do battle with you and they'll be like, well, where's your link? Where's your study? And if I do provide one and it's dead on, and then they challenge that, it's like, okay, now you don't even care. You do not care about information and finding out what the truth is. You care about your narrative.
Yeah.
I don't care about the narrative. I care about finding out what is most likely the case, what's most likely true.
Yeah.
You know? So that's where I'm at with it. I think we did okay.
Yeah.
Weaving all this together today. I think so. Dawn and I are going to be headed out tomorrow morning.
I'm excited
We are
for you,
going
man.
to Atlanta. We are going to see my Fighting Irish take on the Ohio State University.
What a matchup, by the way.
A classic. And for that to be the matchup for the very first expanded playoff, I think is great for the sport. It's just great for college football. Two very storied programs, and whoever wins, I think it'll be a great story. And whoever wins, the route that they had to take to get here, and what they had to do to win, and where you had Notre Dame have a terrible loss to a lower Division I team, and then where you had a case where with Ohio State losing to their arch rival Michigan, and probably, I think, I don't know, just me, my personal take, I think losing that game helped get them to where they are now. And I think they would have been less likely to reach the championship game had they beaten Michigan. They kind of needed that wake-up call, that stirring, that We have
The
a second.
motivation.
Well, they have a second chance at redemption for the season.
Yeah.
Because as important as it is for UM to beat Ohio State and Ohio State to beat UM,
Yeah.
I'm sorry. That is not, I don't care what Woody said. I don't care what Schembechler said. That is not the most important thing. Winning a national championship, competing for a national championship, being in the national championship game is more important than winning that rivalry game. That's number 2. I would never put it lower than number 2. But it is absolutely not number 1. Because I guarantee you, nobody is going to care about anything else. Nobody's going to care about even who won the Big Ten.
Yeah. They're focused on
which
who wins
wasn't
the entire
Ohio
thing.
State.
Yeah.
Nobody's going to care. Alabama has won the national championship without winning the SEC. It's happened. We remember the champions. We remember first place.
Yeah.
And so I think it's just going to be a great game. Oh, and I don't even know if you know, but Marcus Freeman played for Ohio State.
I did not know.
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah. So it's just the whole story and everything is just, it's just good. And Notre Dame hasn't been in this position in a minute. They've been in some good situations, but
Not in this
they didn't come through,
situation.
and there's a good chance, and they're underdogs. But I hope that it's a great game, that it's a classic, and I think it will be. And, you know, however the outcome is, we're going to have a great time. That's what we're doing.
Hell yeah, man. I'm excited for you. I really
Yeah,
am.
thanks. Yeah, I'm excited. But we'll be back. We're just Saturday to Tuesday, coming back Tuesday. And just so you know this, for my clients, you're going to see, by the time you see this, we'll already be back. But just so you know, whenever I'm doing shit, I'm working. So I will be working literally while I am on the plane to Atlanta. I'll be working every day like I always do here.
Yeah.
And I'll be doing other shit. But I will be working. So don't think that, oh, I wanted to talk to Troy about such and such, but I'm not going to message him because that's how I make my money. Message me. Okay? Don't cut me off. That's not how that shit works. I'm not, this is not a paid 4-day vacation. And I don't take vacations. I do workations. I work every day but Christmas. I wear that with a badge of honor. I love doing it. Love doing what I do. Love doing this. Love having you with us today.
Man. I love being here.
And
yeah.
my coffee cup today.
I'm glad you like it, man. I love drinking out of those things.
I love it. Yeah. No, it's gonna be my show cup now.
Hell yeah.
It's gonna be my show cup.
Hell yeah.
All right. This is the Outlaw Apostle Podcast. I'm your host, Troy Neff. I'm the fucking guy.
Whoa! Who knew I would make it this far? They hated, they never believe me. Yeah, I would never drop the ball. I know I make it look easy. Yeah, Mayweather with the defense. I don't care what a critic got to say. I got them picking up the pieces. That me, you really playing with your life.